Guys, as you know, the grand jury in Staten Island decided not to indict the police officer involved in the death of Eric Garner. We've got team chaser coverage. Tara, you were in the thick of it last night at the protest at Rockefeller Center. But I want to start with you, Sabeel.
I was in Staten Island when the grand jury decision came out, but there's a lot of misconception out there. Was the grand jury being unjust, or does the public and protesters not have all the facts? I spoke to Prosecutor Robert Bianchi to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah, I think that there's a number of confusions here about the difference between what happens when you go in a criminal proceeding in which the police officer is a defendant. He didn't need to testify. He had a Fifth Amendment right not to do that, and he did.
And he said that what you see in the video is police being very aggressive, and he said that they should instead advocate for verbal judo. They should have warned Eric Garner, if you're going to keep resisting arrest, we are going to use force.
You have to understand how police officers are trained in order to understand why they are responding and acting the way they do. The number one way that officers are killed are by the use of their own guns and trying to apprehend a person who is resisting arrest.
Don't resist arrest, because when you do, the police officer immediately feels endangered, and you can have cases, unfortunate cases like this.
So, Tara, you were there. It actually struck me that there was another contrast, and that was between Staten Island and what happened in Manhattan compared to Ferguson. Just night and day.
It was, that's right. And I'm glad that Sabeel said one of the real problems here is that people are confused, and the people that are coming out to protest don't even know what they're protesting. I have the Empire State Building behind me. You know, they're heading down Fifth Avenue. I got one tourist on camera. I said to him, "What are you protesting today?" He said, "Black kids keep getting killed."
That's right.
Black kids keep getting killed. That is what he said to me when I asked him why he was protesting. I asked him, did he know what
protesting that?
Well, it had nothing to do with the case that day and the verdict that came down and the Ferguson case.
I think what we saw in Ferguson was a lot of outside agitators who do more to incite this frenzy than calm people down. Did you see that?
The tourists who were in town for the tree lighting were jumping in also, and they're not local New Yorkers, so they're not vested in, you know, Staten Island or Manhattan, and they didn't want to cause harm or shut down the streets. But that's what ended up happening, and I don't think they realized that you can't shut down Fifth Avenue.
With all due respect, the hell with Fifth Avenue. And I'm sorry that people don't think that people have the right to protest. But what the hell do you expect them to do? People are not confused. They're angry. People are watching on video, people being suffocated, people, fathers, children, wives, husbands, whatever, being choked to death on camera with no consequence. Now, I certainly don't condone looting. I don't condone rioting. But what the hell do you expect people to do when the system doesn't work and your family members are being killed in the street?
Can I ask a question, though? Serious question. At what point, though, are we going to have the conversation that every time one of these incidents happens, it's somebody either committing a crime and or resisting arrest? Police have a tough job. Cops get assaulted, they get killed, they get injured, and we expect them to keep the peace. How do you get that balance?
We create that balance, we have that discussion when we stop acting as if avoiding taxes on cigarettes should be punishable by death.